If you're trying to improve your credit, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is doing everything out of order. You see something negative, so you immediately send a dispute. Then you hear somebody online talking about utilization, so you pay down a credit card. Then somebody else tells you to open a new account. Then you're checking your score every 3 days, wondering why nothing seems to be working. That's not a strategy. And that's exactly why I want to simplify this for you. There is a much better way to approach improving your credit. And in this video, I'm going to break it into 6 clear phases so you know what you should look at first, what comes next, what you should actually be tracking, and where rebuilding fits into the process. And make sure you stay with me until phase 6, because that's the step people skip all the time. They focus so much on trying to remove negative information that they completely forget to build the positive side of the credit profile. And that's one of the reasons someone can get negative accounts removed and still struggle to qualify for better financial products. So grab your notes and let's start with phase 1. Phase 1: prepare before you touch anything, before you dispute anything, before you apply for anything, and before you start following random credit advice online. You need to know exactly what you're working with. The first thing I want you to do is get your credit reports. And I don't mean looking at one app and assuming that's your entire credit picture. You want to review your information from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, because information can differ from one report to another. You can request your reports through annualcreditreport.com, which is the federally authorized website for getting reports from the 3 nationwide credit reporting companies. And this is where I want you to understand an important distinction. Your credit report and your credit score are not the same thing. Your report contains the underlying information: accounts, balances, payment history, inquiries, identifying information, and other reported data. A credit score is a calculation based on information in a credit report. So if you're trying to improve your credit, don't become obsessed with watching the number move before you've even looked at the information creating that number. Start with the data. And while you're doing that, create some kind of simple tracker. It can be a spreadsheet, it can be a notebook. It does not need to be fancy. Write down the account name, which bureau it's appearing on, the status, balance, anything that looks incorrect, what action you took, when you took it, and what happened next. Because once you start sending correspondence or correcting things, trying to remember everything from memory becomes a mess. Documentation is your friend. Smart credit segment. And this is also where having ongoing credit monitoring can be helpful. One resource I personally use and recommend is Smart Credit. Smart Credit offers credit monitoring and tools that can help you keep an eye on changes across your credit information. And its service includes access to credit-related reports, scores, and alerts, depending on the membership. If you want to check it out, go to www.smartcredit.com/creditcarla. That is my affiliate link. So if you choose to join Smart Credit through that link, I may earn a commission. Any commissions I earn through that link go towards supporting this channel and helping me continue creating free credit education content for you. I'll also put the link in the description. Now let's move into phase 2. Phase 2: separate, special, or time-sensitive problems. Not every negative item should automatically go into the same bucket. This is important. There is a big difference between saying, "This account is mine," but something about the reporting appears inaccurate, and saying, "I have absolutely no idea what this account is." If you find an account that you genuinely do not recognize, don't automatically treat it like a normal credit dispute. An account you don't recognize can be a warning sign of identity theft. The FTC specifically recommends reviewing unfamiliar accounts and using identitytheft.gov when identity theft is involved. And I want to be very clear here. Identity theft procedures are for actual identity theft. Do not falsely claim that a legitimate debt isn't yours just because you want it removed. The FTC has specifically warned consumers about that kind of false identity theft strategy. So phase 2 is really about separating problems. Ask yourself, is this simply negative? Is it inaccurate? Is it unfamiliar? Is there fraud involved? Is this an active account that is currently delinquent? Those situations may need completely different responses. Phase 3: Audit your personal information. Now let's move to the top section of your reports, your personal information. This is probably one of the most overlooked parts of a credit report because people immediately scroll down looking for collections. Slow down. Review your identifying information too. Look at your name, look at addresses, look for obvious errors or information that doesn't belong to you. Look for information that may be outdated or inconsistent. The purpose here is not to randomly delete accurate information. The goal is to make sure your credit file accurately identifies you. And if you're reviewing all three reports side by side, this becomes much easier because you can compare what each one is showing. For example, maybe Experian has one address, TransUnion has three old variations, Equifax has a misspelled version of your name. That doesn't automatically mean something illegal happened, but it tells you where you need to investigate. And that brings us to the part most people are waiting for, the actual accounts. Phase 4, audit every account. Now, I want you to go through every account on your credit reports, not just the collections, everything. You're looking for accounts that deserve attention. Start with collections, then look at charge-offs. Look for seriously delinquent accounts. Look for accounts that are currently past due. And I want to stop here because currently past due matters. A lot of people are so focused on something negative that happened 4 years ago that they ignore an account they're falling behind on right now. If you have an open account that is currently delinquent, that deserves your attention. Then look for duplicate looking accounts. Look for accounts you don't recognize. Compare balances, compare account status, compare payment history, compare important dates, and don't assume that because an account is negative, it must be inaccurate. That isn't how this works. Accurate negative information can generally remain on a credit report for the applicable reporting period. Most negative information can generally be reported for 7 years, while certain bankruptcy information can remain longer. So our strategy is not, I don't like this, therefore dispute it. Our strategy is the information being reported accurately? That's a completely different mindset, and it's one of the most important things I want people learning from this channel. Phase 5, choose the right response. Now that you've identified a problem, you need to decide what kind of problem it actually is. If information is inaccurate, consumers have the right to dispute errors. Current CFPB guidance says you can dispute inaccurate information with the credit reporting company and with the company that furnished the information. They generally must investigate a dispute within about 30 days, although some situations can take up to 45 days. But not every situation calls for exactly the same action. Maybe an account is accurate and simply needs to be brought current. Maybe there's an incorrect balance. Maybe there's a legitimate collection where your decision becomes whether you're going to communicate, negotiate, settle, pay, or take another appropriate step. Maybe you're dealing with identity theft. Maybe you're dealing with a reporting error. Those aren't interchangeable. This is why I don't want you downloading some random dispute letter and sending the exact same thing to every company on your credit report. You need to know what you're challenging and why, and then document it. Keep copies of correspondence, keep responses, keep dates. If you submit a legitimate dispute, give the process time to work before you start firing off another round of letters. The CFPB says credit reporting companies generally have 30 days to investigate, with up to 45 days in some circumstances. This isn't an overnight process. Credit improvement is a project. Treat it like one. Phase 6, rebuild while you're correcting. Now, this is the phase I don't want you to skip because repairing and rebuilding are not the same thing. Repairing focuses on what's already happened. Rebuilding focuses on what you're doing now. Imagine you have a credit profile full of negative information. You successfully correct several errors. Great. But what have you added on the positive side? Do you have open accounts in good standing? Are you paying on time? Are you controlling revolving balances? Are you creating current positive payment history? Because removing something negative does not automatically create positive information. This is exactly what we talked about in the previous video when I said credit repair isn't enough. The strongest credit improvement plan looks at both sides. Correct legitimate inaccuracies, deal with current financial problems, and at the same time, begin establishing positive behaviors you can maintain. And no, that doesn't mean running out and applying for 5 new credit cards tomorrow. It means intentionally building based on what your profile actually needs. We're going to break that rebuilding side down much deeper in upcoming videos because there's a lot to understand about credit cards, utilization, payment history, age, credit mix, and how lenders may evaluate your overall profile. But for now, I want you to remember this. Don't spend months looking backward while doing nothing to improve what you're reporting today. Recap. So, your 6 phases are: first, prepare and pull your reports. Second, separate special situations like possible identity theft or other issues that shouldn't be treated like a normal dispute. Third, audit your personal information. Fourth, audit every account and identify what actually deserves attention. Fifth, choose the appropriate action based on the real problem. And sixth, rebuild positive credit while you're correcting legitimate issues from the past. If you follow that order, credit improvement starts feeling a lot less random. Final CTA/video 3 bridge. But now you're probably thinking, okay, Carla, I pulled my credit reports. What exactly am I supposed to look for? That's what we're doing next. In the next video, I'm going to walk you through how to audit your credit report before you dispute anything, including the specific information I want you checking and comparing. So if you're serious about working through this step by step, subscribe to the channel. And when that next video is available, click it on your screen because that's where we're taking phase 3 and phase 4 and turning them into an actual credit report audit. Build better credit, make smarter money moves. I'll see you in the next video.